So that APC 40 was given to me when I purchased the Epicenter in that car. Purchased the Epicenter for $100. The guy that sold me the Epicenter and gave me the APC 40 is fucking oh my god, I don't remember his DJ name. Uh I'll come back to it. Anyways, I did with him, DJed with him like 20 years ago in a boat party. What's his name? I thought Tori Amos. He did a remix for Tori Amos. Fuck, it doesn't matter. Woodrow Lowe threw the party. But when I say I have a lot of screens, there's the Samsung tablet that I want to install an Android operating system on that will allow me to use it as some form of a controller for the vehicle, utilizing Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So I can kind of maybe go outside the car and control some sound settings. This is my higher end 12 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte NVMe drive, Intel 11th gen 8 core processor with AX certified Wi-Fi. It's a touchscreen. Really awesome laptop, $599. It's called a Samsung Flex Alpha. This is the Nexus, which right now it's got what's it called? Kali Linux on it. So I've got that as another touchscreen. That's a Samsung Galaxy Go. So basically, it's like a Chromebook, but it runs Windows. So it's a Chromebook that runs Windows, and if you run a Windows subsystem for Linux, you can get away with like anything that you want to run on a Windows machine. Just find an open source version of it, operate Windows subsystem for Linux, because this only has 4 gigs of RAM, and it has like an onboard, it's like an eMMC kind of, it's a type of flash memory that they use inside computers. It's not very fast considering Samsung makes UFS. I think it's called UFS or UFM. It's a newest form of micro SD card that Samsung produces that produces almost NVMe level transfer speeds. So it's fucking a badass micro SD card. But the beauty of this thing is it's also USB-C porting on it. This one only has your 2 USB 3.0s, and that's right, no USB-C, but a proprietary tiny power cable. Fuck that noise. Whereas this one has USB-C to charge, and a USB and USB-A extra as well. It also has a micro SD slot. This is the other monitor. I'm using that one right now for like watching Netflix, kind of change the room a little bit. This is my ITX case. So I decorated it with all the fucking tape. That's all me. It's an ITX case with a 12th gen Intel i3, all 4 performance cores, 64 gigs of RAM, 4 terabytes of storage. It's got a separate video card that has 4 mini HDMI outputs. It's old school NVIDIA Quattro. I think it's got 1 gig of onboard memory. I purchased the wrong one. This is actually designed for Apple products. So what's affected is I can still use this with Android. I can still use this with this computer. It's got, USB power in, USB-C out to your host, like the thing that's the parent. This is the power pass through from an outlet. But I can also run USB-C into this is the power, but data will transfer across. It's just not the highest speed. And then this goes out into my host. I could also just make this the host. Ba-doop, ba-doop. This goes out to a power slit stick. And then I have an additional USB-C. That's 10 gigabit per second USB 3.1. That's 5 gigabit per second USB 3.0. That's 400 megabyte per second USB 2.0. These are both Raspberry Pi Helium miners, which is why they have this big old thing on it. But I haven't taken it out yet. Maybe I can show you. It's not going to really be visible. But there's a Raspberry Pi 4, Raspberry Pi 3, 4 gigabyte? No, Raspberry Pi 4, 4 gigabyte in both of those. These are just, I had them installed at one point like this, but they're basically just a splitter, a USB. You can put like a monitor here and a monitor here. and this could be a computer and a hard drive and a mouse and a keyboard, and you could switch it to maybe this computer or this computer. So it's a splitter. It's a USB-C splitter. We'll have two of those. So I imagine when I do this install, this is going to be by itself. One of these is going to be up in the front of the car, and one of these will be somewhere else for the controlling the lighting, because one's going to control the lighting, the other one's going to interface with the car's OBD2. This is what I was talking about with the HDMI programmable touchscreen. I forget the name of the company. It's a really cool old company. But you have HDMI and two old school kind of USB, micro USB connectors or whatnot. You can mount it on a wall.